pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, Grant families. It's Monday, November 30th. I'm excited to welcome you to another week of learning together. Do you remember last week we were talking about the Fibonacci day with 1, 1, 2, 3? Well, wanted to share that we have a book here in the library that you can check out and pick up on Wednesdays, and it's all about Fibonacci. Last week, did you guess where I was in the school? Did you guess I was sitting in a second grade classroom? Well, I was. I was sitting in Mrs. King's room, and she and Mr. Schreiner teach second grade here at Grant and do a fantastic job. So a special hello to all of our second graders watching the announcements today. So for this week, where in the school is Principal Foote? So I'll give you 3 clues. The first is that this is the place where you turn print into cursive. And this is the place where you will write mysteries and fairy tales and all sorts of other fun reading and writing adventures. And it's also the place where you start off the second half of your elementary school career. So where in the school is Principal Foote this week? Before I sign off, I wanted to remind you all about our service project we're doing in December. And it's called Grant's Shining Light Service Project. What we'd all like to do is write letters or create artwork that we can give to senior citizens who are in Lakewood or community nursing homes and brighten their day this holiday season. So consider what kind of artwork you can do or write a little letter, and then that can be shared with them the week after we're on break, that last week in December. So have a wonderful week of learning, and I'll see you all next week.
Fibonacci Zoo by Tom Robinson, illustrated by Christina Wald. Today was a special day for Eli and his father. They were going to visit the Fibonacci Zoo. His teacher said it was different from most zoos, and Eli couldn't wait to find out why. He brought a notebook to record what he saw. Eli entered the zoo and saw an alligator swimming in a shallow lake. He looked around for others, but there were none. He pulled out his notebook and wrote 1 alligator. Leaving the alligator, he discovered a bison out sunning himself. Again, Eli looked, but he could only see 1. In his notebook, he wrote 1 bison. Eli wondered why there were so few animals in this zoo. He and his father left the bison and saw 2 hairy camels standing near a pond. Eli knew they were camels because of the humps on their back. He added a new entry, 2 camels. Next, they found a tank of water. The animals inside were swimming and jumping into the air. When all 3 soared above the wall, Eli recognized the dolphins. Eli and his father moved on, but not before he made a new entry in his notebook, 3 dolphins. After a short walk through some trees, Eli and his father saw 5 large creatures. They moved in a familiar way. They swished their tails and swung their trunks. These were elephants. Eli made his next entry, 5 elephants. Soon, tall pink birds stood on long legs. Eli recognized flamingos and quickly counted 8 of them. In his notebook, he recorded 8 flamingos. "Hey, Dad, look at this," Eli exclaimed. "I've been keeping track of the animals we've seen. We saw 1 alligator, 1 bison, 2 camels, 3 dolphins, 5 elephants, and now 8 flamingos. I think there's a pattern. If I take any 2 numbers in order and add them up, I get the next number. See, 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 3 plus 5 equals 8. If this keeps up, I bet we'll find 5 plus 8 equals 13 animals next. Come on, called his father. Let's find out. They heard the next group of animals long before they reached them. Sitting under some trees were 13 gorillas. Exactly 13, just like I thought, shouted Eli. He made an entry in his notebook, 13 gorillas. Looking in his notebook, Eli saw that the next exhibit should contain 21 animals. He was right. 21 enormous creatures lay in a shallow pond. This was the hippopotamus exhibit. Eli pulled out his notebook one more time and wrote 21 hippos. This was an unusual zoo. Eli enjoyed the animals he saw. He had discovered the secret of the Fibonacci Zoo. He couldn't wait to see how many animals would be in its next exhibit. Can you guess? On a twig, or the number of seeds in an apple. You might find a Fibonacci number. Many plants, but not all, have a general tendency to grow leaves or petals that match a Fibonacci number. Even in plants that usually have a Fibonacci number, there can be individual plants that grow differently. For example, most clovers have 3 leaves, but sometimes a clover grows an extra leaf and is a lucky 4-leaf clover. Sometimes a flower might have 1 petal that is stunted or torn off. Count the petals or leaves of the plants below and see how many are Fibonacci numbers. The Fibonacci numbers appear in the human body. Humans have 5 appendages off the trunk of the body, 1 head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. We have 2 arms. Each arm has 3 parts, upper arm, forearm, and hand. Each hand has 5 fingers. Where else can you find Fibonacci numbers? The Fibonacci sequence can be used to create a spiral. Begin with the 1 square inside. If you trace from corner to corner on each square, you will see a spiral pattern. This pattern can continue forever, adding bigger and bigger squares. This spiral often appears in nature and is called the golden spiral. This is the shape of spiral galaxies in space. This is the spiral of hurricanes moving across the ocean. Look at the images below to see other examples of the golden spiral in nature. Fibonacci and you. The golden spiral can be found in the human body too. It is in the curve of our ears and the swirl in our closed hands.